welcome back to the Knitting Eillets podcast. My name is Saskia, I'm a 37-year-old knitter from Switzerland, but currently and hopefully forever living in France, near the Swiss border, where we bought our house last year. This was a longer break for my podcast than I expected or intended to do. There was just life happening. I can't tell it otherwise. We had so much stuff to do. We were renovating the cellar, or one of the cellar rooms. We were busy in the garden also in the autumn time. We had lots to plant, lots of fruit trees and bushes and so to plant, which has to happen in autumn. So we were really busy. But I have a lot to show you this podcast. I have 3 finished objects. I have 3 whips and quite a lot of acquisitions, I have to admit. Yeah, and some plans for them already also. So you'll see. Yeah, no, as you might be hearing on my voice, I was ill, so I had a cough, quite a bad one, and my voice was really, how do you say, impaired. My voice was really not good. I couldn't speak for longer than 2 sentences before I had to cough again. Speaking of cough, I have to cough, of course. So it's still not 100%, but it's a lot better, and I feel like I can talk you through a podcast episode without suffocating through coughing. Let's not talk around too much. Let's just get started. I hope the lighting is okay and the quality is okay, because the light outside is crap, really. It's so dark already. It's almost 4 o'clock and it's so dark. It's rainy, it's cloudy since days. So I really didn't know if I could do a podcast and film it and have a quality that is acceptable. So I hope it is. I just thought if I wait for any better weather, I will be here until, I don't know, March maybe. So I hope it's okay and it's not too bad. I put on all the lights I could find. So now let's get started with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my stick season sweater by the Creabea, which I knit up with my Sesia yarn from Genova last autumn. No, 2 autumns ago. So yeah, I really love the detailing and the fit of it. And I wanted a second stick season sweater for quite a while, and I've been actually knitting one, and it is finished. Sesia, it's an Italian yarn. It's quite heavy, but I really like it. It holds its shape very well. It does a little bit of pilling, but not too much. You see here it has little lumps here, but not too bad. And I wanted a second one because I love wearing this one jumper so much. It's not the warmest yarn, I have to say. It's merino 100%, but it's not the warmest yarn. I think maybe due to how it's spun, I don't know. So I wanted a second one, and so I bought a yarn at the Swiss Yarn Festival last year. A lovely blue one by Wolldorado is the shop name. Renate Lengacher is the dyer, I think. And it was Ultra DK 100% merino, 225 meters, 100 grams superwash. In the color I don't know the color, it had a number. It's this lovely blue. I don't know if it's available yet, and I don't know if you can actually see it. The lighting is actually, back here it's better. That's more true to color. The closer I get to the light, the grayer it gets. So this is my second one. So I did some changes to the pattern. I did a bit of a bigger scoop neck because I wanted it to be, because here you can see when I'm wearing my scarves, and I'm always wearing shawls or scarf in winter, it kind of folds out like this, and I wanted it a bit bigger to kind of lay like that, and I managed it with this one. So I did a bit more of a scoop neckline here. I changed the numbers a bit because I was in between sizes. I looked what size I did here, and it is quite big. It has a lot of ease, and I wanted a tiny bit less ease, and I managed that. I did fewer decreases on the sleeves. Well, I picked up a little bit less stitches because the sleeves here are quite big, and I did a little bit less stitches, but first, on the first sleeve, I picked up the wrong number of stitches and it was really tight, so I had to go back again, and I really was a bit stuck on Sleeve Island with that one. So I was really lucky I could get the last tank of this yarn, and you can't see it, it's only one sleeve. For the rest of one sleeve, I used the rest of it. It wouldn't have been possible to knit that with only 4 hanks with 100 meters, so it would have been too short, not enough yarn. So I'm really happy I could get another one and finish this beautiful sweater. So it has the pattern, it has on the back, of course, the lovely shoulder pattern. What I changed is, on the side with this one, oh yeah, I can show you like that. You have like 2 ribs here and 2 garter stitch, like right stitch ribs, and you have 3 left side stitches, and here I made it a bit bigger because I went down a size and I realized it will probably be too tight if I don't increase some numbers. So I was in between size 1 and 2, and I increased in the back here, so I have 3 of these right side ribs and 1, 2, 3, 4 of the left side. So I just increased. Normally you would take these 2, and I just took up some more stitches here under the arm and just did another, like, these are 2, these are 2, so I did 4 stitches more on each side. So I have a bit more room, and the fit is quite really nice. I can show you quickly. So of course my undergarment, everything is matched to the orange jumper, so it looks a bit weird because now I have this on, and I left off the shawl for a second so you can see what it looks like. So this is the second stick season. You see the arms are quite a lot thinner and the others are quite big. So, but the fit is quite the same. You can see that the shoulder is a bit higher up, and the fit here is quite nice, and it's a good size of good amount of ease, but it's a bit less than the other. The other is a bit more oversized. Sorry, I need my lap blanket, it's so cold up here. So yeah, I had a bit of a trouble with the neckline because it was too stretchy. Because it's superwash wool, I think it's double. I just cast on and then knit and then knit it upwards as she tells you to, and I folded it over, but it was too floppy and too, I don't know, it just didn't work out. So I did a little rubber thread in there, like not a band, it's more like a thread, and I just went in the middle of the folded section, like in between the 2 fabric sides, and it holds together the color very nicely. And if I put it on the right way, it looks very nice. Here it's a bit strange with this jumper underneath. I don't wear this jumper underneath that normally. So yeah, but I really like the fit. I really love it. It's a bit smaller, a bit more elegant than the other one. The other one is really oversized and cozy. And the length of the sleeves is fine. It's a bit shorter than the other one too, because I tend to have to pull this one back. It felt a little bit more, but it's okay. Yeah, I have inside here a little bit, and I might get under the arms a bit, but I don't mind it. So I really love this one. I love the color. I think it's lovely. And yeah, that is the stick season, my number 2 stick season by the Creabea. So sorry if I'm sitting not at the exact same spot as before, because I was just outside. I had to go and feed the chickens before it gets dark and collect an egg. So yeah, I was out and back again. Now I'll start again. I don't know where I left off. So this is my second finished object. It's the Lauder vest by the Creabea also. This should not be like a Creabea fan podcast episode, but I just love her patterns, and yeah, it will not be the last time you hear her name on my channel, because I love almost every pattern she releases, and yeah, they are so nice to knit up, they are so good, and the fit is just marvelous. So this is the Lauder vest. I did some changes to that one because I had really big trouble getting gauge. She kind of, I don't know, knits it up with a 3mm needles or 3.5, and she gets like a super big gauge, and I was like, if I knit it up in that gauge, but she always reminds the knitters that she's a very loose knitter. So when I'm a very tight knitter, so I do not have troubles with the stick season sweater with her gauge, but I also used bigger needles. I very often have to use bigger needles than the designer suggests, because I'm a tight knitter, and so I had to use a needle 5 for this vest to get the gauge she wanted. And I knit this up with this with a very cheap yarn. I bought this with I think €3 a ball. And I also reordered. I bought 7 to 8 balls, and I used up more yarn for this than she suggested also in her pattern, which doesn't make sense because I had that much of a bigger needle. I thought I'm on the safe side, and I reordered some yarn just to be safe, and in the end I didn't need it. So I have another 3 balls of that yarn, or 4, and I don't know what to do with it. Well, I will think of something, maybe a hat or so, but it's not a problem. But yeah, so it's the Merino Bliss 90. It's 100% merino wool by Hobbii, and it was the first time I ordered there. It was a quite good experience. The yarn is, as you can see, it's not a very good quality. It's quite splitty, so you don't have to do much, and it splits. It's quite bouncy, stretchy, so it has a lot of stretch to it. That's the reason why I went down. I was kind of in between sizes, and I chose the smaller size because I knew cables would kind of grow a lot, which is also stated in her pattern. And I took it quite tight fitting because I knew the yarn would also kind of loosen up. It's a super wash, which I think is a good thing for my white vest, because I know me, I will spill something on it at some point. I'm amazed it hasn't happened yet, but I'm really careful with it. And the white is, I think it's a lovely white. Depending on the light, it looks a bit of a, it has a bit of a greenish hint. You see, if the wall is white, it's not white, it has a bit of a grey, greenish tint. But I love that. I wanted a bit of a natural white. I think it suits me better than a starch white. So I did some changes here. Let me show you how it fits. It fits just on my hip bones, which are here. So it's a really nice length, I think, front and back. I love the cables. I did not twist the cables in different directions because I don't see that personally. I don't mind. I don't care. So what I did is I skipped the ribbing here because you can see the shoulder is quite wide for my shoulder. I love that it's a wide shoulder because it's quite warming. But adding another 4 centimeters or what it is to that would have been, for me, it would have been too much, and I was afraid it would kind of stick out. So I just did a crochet edge around it, like here. You see, I did the crochet edge here, but I picked up the stitches, and here I didn't. So I just did 1 crochet round around it because it was a bit, I think on the front, you can see it has a lot of fabric here. I have very small bust. So it's a bit too much fabric here, but normally I'm not wearing that thin of a t-shirt underneath, no, a long sleeve shirt underneath. It has a bit more volume, so it's fine. Sorry, had to get that wasp out, it was distracting me. So I just left out the rib here around the arm because I thought it was enough fabric. If I could change something, I would wish that it had a bit more shaping here, so it's not this straight line down here, which is for my, it's for a sleeve, when you wanted to add a sleeve. So if, say, I wanted to make a jumper out of that, and you could actually, because it's I really like, it has the same detail like the stick season with this shoulder. So you could make a drop shoulder jumper if you made it a bit oversized, and you could just add sleeves basically, and it would be a v-neck jumper. So, and you could take maybe the instructions from the stick season and do some short rows first here on the top, to kind of go around this length. So you could totally do that. But I would wish for the vest that it would kind of, you know, be a bit more tailored here. That's the only thing I would change. And I changed the rib because it was 4 centimeters also, and I didn't want it to be that closed up. I like my v-necks to be a bit more open, and I just did, I think, 2.5 or 2 centimeters of rib. And on the bottom I also did only 2 centimeters rib because I didn't like that huge rib. I think it took away from the lovely cable pattern. It's very fun to knit. I'm not particularly fond of knitting cables. I find it very tedious to kind of get the cable needle and go back and then knit and go behind and go front and whatever. So you have a lot of stops in there to take the needle, put it away, take the needle. But this one is quite, it's okay really. So you have 3 rounds always where you don't need to do a cable, and then you have 1 cable round, and then, you know, I have 1 round with the cable needle, and then you can go again back and forth. So just in the round, and I like it. I love wearing it. I've worn it several times already, and it's so cozy and lovely, and I got a lot of compliments on it. Yeah, the white could be, in retrospective, maybe I wouldn't choose this white. I would choose, it's a bit grayish, so it has a bit something, depending on the light, but it has a bit sometimes the feeling of being a bit, well, not dirty, but, you know, not clean white, which depending on the light I like, and depending on the light I think, yeah, it could be whiter, but well, it also, I think, depends on what I'm wearing underneath it. So it's more of a cool white, and I was hoping more of a warm white, but well, it's always hard choosing a white on the internet, I think, because you can't really tell what it's looking like. So this is the Lauder vest with the Merino Bliss 90 by Linde Hobbii, and I'm very happy with it and wearing it a lot. And now I'm changing back to my jumper because it's cold. So back to my first stick season again, and it's quite cold up here because we don't have heating in the upper floor of the house. We heat that with the chimney downstairs, so with the fireplace, and the corner I'm sitting here is the outwardest, the most corner of the house, and the heat is really not going there. So I have a little electrical heater on, and that warms it quite well, but it needs some time. So for example, you can see that this jumper is quite more loose fitting than the other one, just to go back to the stick season. Now my third finished object is a small one because I needed something quick and easy to finish, and I knit myself some leg warmers, and I love them. I made some leg warmers years ago with a fingering weight wool, and I just couldn't find a nice pattern I liked, and which was easy. I don't like, you know, there are a lot of cable leg warmers, which is nice, but as I'm not a fan of cables, the hustle through to cable needle this, and yeah, if I want a leg warmer, I want something quick and easy to be finished, and I don't want to go and do cable needle stuff. So I found this pattern some while ago, And I haven't blocked those yet, so they are still quite not stretched, so I need to do that. So it's a mock cable pattern, so you knit that pattern without a cable needle. You knit this, it's basically a 2x1 rib, so it has 2, 4, 5, 6 stitches per repeat, and it has 2 right stitches, 1 left, 2 right, 1 left, and then it repeats again, so it's 6 stitches. And the second one of the 2 right stitches, the line, you just knit the second stitch before the first one, and you can do that without the cable needle, and it gives this kind of mock cable, which looks very effective and complicated, but it's actually very easy and simple to do. So I cast on 60 stitches. I can tell that because it's actually a made-up pattern by me, so I can tell you everything. I took needles 4, I think, needle size 4, 60 stitches, cast on, very normal basic cast on, and just installed the pattern and then started knitting. And after a while, I think it's about 30 centimeters long. So after 25 centimeters, I started increasing 3 stitches. You can see that here. I made a little triangle here. I increased a left and 2 right stitches. So you could of course cable that, but for this little part I just didn't mind, and it's, I think, a little bit less visible like this. But of course you could also kind of increase to, if you want them to go higher up, you could increase to 6 stitches, or if you have more of a, I have quite slim legs, so I don't need much of an increase. But if you have like a more wide calf, you could, is it a calf? Is this not a baby cow? So I was not that wrong. It's calf, and it's the same for the baby cow and the thing you put on your legs, the lower part of your leg, calf. So yeah, if you have wider calves, then you can increase more stitches, of course, and then you can go back to the original pattern. You can do this increase wherever you need it. I just wanted it a bit more on the top of my calves. I wanted it to be a bit more stretchy, and I cast off very loosely, very elastic, with my elastic bind off. Yeah, and it's just 2 very nice leg warmers in a lovely, lovely green. The yarn is from Fiberfox, and I bought this 2 or 3 years ago, and it was just one skein of this DK yarn. It's a merino wool, and it's of course hand dyed by the Fiberfox, and it's so beautiful. I still am waiting for the chance to wear them. I think the opportunity will be this Friday when we go and eat. I will wear a skirt and I will wear these lovely leg warmers. So I made a Ravelry page for those. I know that because I wanted to take notes and not forget it. So I'm really sure I made a Ravelry page about those. So if you want to reread it, you can go on my Ravelry page. My name on Ravelry is Eillets, and you can find, I have to do a photo still and put it in there, but you can find this pattern, like a written instruction there, and if you have any questions, of course, you can ask me. So now, finally, whips. Oh my gosh. I start with the almost finished whip, which is my cozy teddy jumper, and I actually have to turn it quickly because you know that one from the last podcast, and it got a collar and everything, but this is, as you know, I'm knitting it on the right side, which actually is the left side, so I have to turn it quickly so you get the full effect of the sweater. It looks so good. I think it looks better than I ever imagined it would. I don't want to pull my balls through it, so there will be some threads hanging loose. So this is the right side. Let me stuff away this stuff here, all these threads. So this is how it looks. And I love the left side on this one. It's so much, the bouclé yarn is so much more visible on the left side than on the right. It's really interesting. And I found a way to do the collar. The last time I was almost finished with the body, and I was thinking about how to do the collar because I don't want this fluffy, huge fabric like here poking up. And I found knitting for olive merino in a light color, which I had left over. And I took one strand of the bouclé and just made the collar with that, and I think it looks gorgeous. So this is the collar. I did a V-neck. I didn't do much of a collar. It's quite nice. I have done the ribbing. Well, it's a bit longer, and I also like how it's corresponding to this lighter specks here. It's a good match. Down here I took 2 times the bouclé and 1 times the, so it's a bit more bouclé in there and only 1 time the knitting for olive. And here I wanted it a bit smaller, also on the cuff here. Sorry, can't see anything. Also on the cuff here, which looks tiny, but I assure you it will stretch out, and it's this. I tried it. It's a good size, but it looks tiny, but it will stretch out, and I have tiny wrists. So yeah, so I did a bell sleeve. So I just did really few increases, like 2 stitches here and 2 there, and then I just knit, and then I increased rapidly here at the end and just added the cuff. I had to go back and do it twice. The first time it was too tight, but this time it's fine. And yeah, I can demonstrate if you don't believe me, because it looks really tiny. So if I just go into my sleeve, it's really a nice fit. It's not too tight. It's really it's tight because I don't want it to slip. But it's a lovely size. It will go a little bit, but it will grow a bit when I wash it. I am currently at the second sleeve, so I have a bit to go, not too much. The sleeves are not that bad because it's a 6mm needle, and I didn't use a pattern for this one. I just kind of did a basic raglan, and yeah, just I think I took approximately some numbers from the flax sweater, the Aran one. There's a flax Aran, and I think I took those numbers a bit for the beginning, just to have something to start with, and then I just did a raglan and kind of tried it on when I thought it was good. It's not that hugely oversized. It is oversized, and I can't tell how much it will grow. I think it will grow quite a bit when I'm blocking it. So yeah, it will, I'm really sure it will grow. I think the wool is very growable. Like this teddy wool here from Long Yarns is very, it will grow very much. This is the teddy kind of wool. It's a merino and merino fluff something by Long Yarns, so it was on sale. And the other is the bouclé, silky bouclé by which I bought at with this lovely hand-dyed silky bouclé by Forever Taiga yarns, which I hold together because this one is like crazy stretchy. So just this yarn for a sweater or a jumper, it would like grow endlessly. So I had to take something with a bit of sturdiness, and this is really quite sturdy. So the swatch didn't grow that much, but it wasn't that big. So I'm really interested to see how this jumper, how much it will grow. So on the end, last round, well, not last rounds, but last bit of the sleeve here, and I'm really looking forward to having this one. It's getting really cold, and it is so cozy. I mean, look at this. I'm feeling like I'm wearing a teddy bear, literally. It's so nice. So I'm really looking forward to having this one in my wardrobe. Then my second whip, which was kind of a fail at first. So it's this. It's a sock, and I used Lana Grossa, I think, sock yarn is this, like a pre-dyed, and this is a Hobbii solid unicorn, which I quite like. I think this is quite a good quality for sock yarn, and it's not too scratchy. This one is quite scratchier, but the unicorn solid is nice, and I have this little, there will be a little, can I show it to you? Picot edge, and I want this little tiny yellow picot edge at the end, and the yellow will be inside. So I'm at, actually now all I have to do is to sew this part down, which is not my favorite part. So yeah, I kind of procrastinate on it, and then I have to do the second one. First, what I wanted to do is I did another try of colorwork socks from Stone Knits. Well, just in general colorwork socks with the green and the yellow, and I wanted to do the autumn, Forever Autumn colorwork socks by Stone Knits, the one with the leaves. So I wanted to do green socks with yellow leaves, but I already tried DPNs for colorwork socks, which is impossible. I'm knitting way too tight. Then I tried the magic loop method, which works if I increase like about 8 stitches or something, and 2 needle sizes up, and it's quite a hassle with the magic loop. I don't like it on these small circumferences. So I bought the mini set by Knit Pro, like these little needles with the little cables. And I thought I give it a go. I try it and I'll see if this is something I like. And I kind of made 1 repeat and a half, and I was like, no way, I hate this. Really, I hate knitting with these tiny cables which you can't hold properly. Terrible. And I said, okay, that's it. I'm not doing a colorwork sock, like a full colorwork sock from the toe to the cuff. If I do a colorwork sock, I do 1 or 2 rows at the upper part, and the rest, I just don't give a shit. Really. It can be plain. I don't care. It can be a colorful heel and a colorful toe there, but maybe a tiny little bit of I made a tiny little like 2, 4, 3 row colorwork pattern on the after the toe here. That's fine too. But really, honestly, no, I'm not doing a full colorwork sock because I can't knit it in a way that is nice. So I had to restart 3 times because of the size. I was taking size medium. I was scared it was too small. Size medium was too big, so I restarted with size S, which was better. I didn't even try it on because I knew I wouldn't finish it. So yeah, I ripped it all back just to the toe and just started with this self-striping yarn in the Hermione's everyday sock pattern or something. It's a free pattern, and I quite like that one. It looks nice. I think it brings out the, yeah, you can see it. It brings out the color nicely. It's not dyed up really well, or it's not for my size because it kind of blobbed quite a bit here, and yeah, I now have the stripes coming again, so it's okay, but with the heel or so, it looks a bit strange, I think, so yeah. But for stable socks, which I'm wearing in my stable shoes, which will get a lot of friction and a lot of stuff, so it will be fine. So I will do a second one. I will finish this one soon and do the second one, and yeah, I need something small anyways again. But no full colorwork socks for me. It's just no. Just no. And you don't see it the most of the time anyway, so no. Then the last whip I have, and I'm currently working on, is my Maan Shawl. And guys, it's getting huge. I don't know how I should show you this. Let me go back here. So the top is, you can't really see it. The top is actually here. and I'm on the last section. The last section will be like this bigger middle part here. So I'm about here. I'm about to start. I started with the white one, and then I need to do this whole section and the white one, and then I'm done. So, but of course, one line, one row takes takes about 40 minutes or so. I haven't counted the stitches. I will not do that. I think it must be well over 400 stitches. So it's a crazy long time to knit on one row. And mostly I do like 1 or 2 rows an evening, but I was so keen on finishing my jumper here, I focused on this a bit more now. But I will go back to this once this is finished. So I want this finished before Christmas because I really, really love it. And it's such a wonderful shawl, such a wonderful pattern. And oh, it will be so cozy just to kind of wrap myself around in it and kind of like a blanket. Yeah. Yeah, and what I really came to like, which I always thought I don't need it, was these needle stoppers. They are so handy, and I intend, at the next Swiss Yarn Festival, I intend to get some more needle stoppers, because I didn't have one until my birthday this year. And then some friends made me, greetings to you if you watch it, made me a lovely basket full with little presents, and of course there was some wool in it, and there was a little knitting knick-knack box, so with needles, stitch markers, and the needle stoppers in it. And they are, I love them, they are so handy, especially for the shawl where I have so many stitches that they kind of, you know, almost slip off. So yeah, this is by Moonstruck Knit, coming a bit with the front again. The pattern, the Maan Shawl, is by Moonstruck Knit, the Natasha Hornby, which just has so many lovely shawls. And yeah, the pattern in here is also a very nice stitch pattern. I like it a lot, but it has 2 directions. You can see up here, it goes in one goes in this direction and one in the other, so to the middle. And I have to admit, with 400 stitches and this small part here, I just couldn't be bothered to, because the mirrored version is not as fluent to knit. It's easy, but it's not fluent. You know, the other one you slip, slip, knit, pull over, slip, slip, and the other one you have to kind of slip first and knit and pull back, and then you have to kind of shift the stitches a lot from one needle to the other. I didn't like that, so I just, in this small section here, like the last one here, I just didn't care, and I just knit the same pattern all the way down, and I don't think you will notice it. Because when I look at this, I'm like, yeah, no. I would definitely notice it. I would recommend doing this mirrored part here on the big part, and maybe on the first one, when it's not that much of a hassle because you don't have that many stitches. But in the last thing, like the last round, the last part of the green here, I just, guys, with 400 stitches, I don't want to do 200 stitches and kind of shift the stuff in, back and forth from one needle to another. So yeah, no, I couldn't be bothered. So I just did the same. I was like, I don't care. I want to get on with it. And yeah, the black and white part is it's not color work, it's mosaic knitting. So you have 2 colors, but you only knit with one. You need one color, let's say black, you knit a right side row and the wrong side row, and then you change to the white one and you knit the right side row and the wrong side row, and you change back and forth, and you do it with slip stitches. So it's really easy. It's a it's a labor of love, no, it's a labor of love. So yeah, it takes time, it takes longer to grow because of the color changing in the slip stitches. It's kind of like a bit like brioche stitch, so it takes you longer for it to grow. Yeah. but I love it and I'm looking forward to having it. And I already know which one will be my next shawl by her, but maybe I'm doing a bit of a smaller scarf in between. I don't know. So let's get to acquisitions. And I have to admit, I kind of went a bit crazy. I don't know why, suddenly, but some of it I justified with I have to get a yarn for someone. I'm knitting something for Christmas. That's the yarn I do not show here. I'm not sure if she's not watching my podcast, so sorry guys, not watching this. Not watching, not showing you this. I'm done. So I will see that I can get this over quickly. So years ago I ordered a yarn, the long Cash Soft, and knit a jumper with it. I actually knit 2 jumpers with that yarn, and I love both jumpers. One was the first jumper I ever made, and it has major construction issues. It's really terrible. It has like too much fabric here and too few here. It's, yeah, terrible, but I love the wool. And I did a second one in the round with the color work, the purple one with the black and grey thing, color work in it, and I love that one. It's so cozy, it's warm, it's light, it looks nice, it's the perfect wool. But it's no longer produced. I don't know why. I actually wrote to Long Yarns asking them if they will maybe bring back these Cash Soft wool, and they said, no, we have other stuff. You can choose another one. No, I can't. It's not as good, or it's more expensive, way more expensive, because this yarn, which I found, is made out of 50% cashmere and recycled cashmere and 50% merino wool. So I think this is genius. I know they do recycle cashmere, especially cashmere fibers, because it's so expensive in Italy. So they kind of take out those old jumpers and sort it by color, and then they respin it with other fibers, new fibers together. And they did exactly that with the merino. It is so cozy, soft, fluffy. It's beautiful. I can't imagine why they would not produce it. Because the cashmere by Long is also very nice, but this is a fraction of the price. This is like 10 francs a ball, which is not the cheapest, but it's absolute average normal price. And the pure cashmere, of course, is like 28 francs a ball, 25-gram ball. So it's expensive. It's a lovely cashmere. I love it, and I already knit something with it, but I would not need a jumper with that. So I was kind of, I'd love to have another jumper. I don't know. I will see if and one day I just was like, I'll see if I can find some, stash from someone who maybe doesn't want it, or a store that has some stash. And I just typed in Cash Soft Long, and there was a German store which had quite the amount of Cash Soft leftovers, and they made me a good price. They kind of went down a bit for the ball, because I said I would take everything, except for the pink color. I'm not a pink girly, but they didn't have pink. They was all the colors they had left. So the black, the charcoal, so it's not the black, it's kind of a grayish, dark gray. They have a light gray, and they have the beige here, 3 balls. So I have 6 and 5 balls, and I was like, what can I do with this? And I was stumbling over the Rue sweater by the Creabea, which starts with one color, and then you have a color work part, and then it ends in the other color. So you need about around the same amount of the both colors, which is perfect because I have around the same amount of both colors. And I think I will do that. So I will do a Rue sweater with the black and the grey. And the beige, it's only 3 balls. I might do some leg warmers, some really cozy leg warmers, or a hat or something. I will see. 3 balls is not that much, so I will see how much I will have maybe left from the others. I have to calculate it again. I haven't calculated yet, but I'm quite sure it will fit. And I might even, I will do this, whatever it is with the beige afterwards, of course, but I might save it just in case I have trouble with a yarn chicken game. That I will do maybe the ribbing in the grey, in the beige or something. I might kind of keep it as a little backup. It's quite similar. It's not that far away from each other. Sorry for the rustling at the back. So, of course you see the different. One is grey, one is beige, but I think it wouldn't look too bad if you had like the light grey on the end and then the beige as a ribbing. It could work. Would be a bit of a leftover sweater, but I really, yeah, I love this wool so much. And I'm so sad that it's really the last one I have now. And if I'm done, then I'm done with that wool, and I can only hope that I bring it back. So, Rue sweater with the long cash soft. You can look for it. I'm not sure you will find any. I really looked. Then I was in my local yarn shop. I was a bit stressed out. I needed a little break, and I went to the yarn shop, and my local yarn shop, and they had some new wool. They kind of rearranged the shop, and they had a wool I really liked and bought 3 years ago in Berlin. In Berlin, in a yarn shop, I found this wool, which is Manos del Uruguay, Alegria, which is a superwash sock wool, 75% wool and 25% polyamide, 405 meters and 100 grams. And I mean, look at this color. How could I not have taken that? Because I realized I have made this sock quite years ago. You can see it's already quite felted down here, and it's not very nice anymore, so it's well worn, and I love those socks. They don't look too nice, sorry. But I didn't have my perfect sock recipe back then, so I would love to have another. You can see the heel is a bit felted. I really like wearing them, and it's actually exactly this wool. So this is how it knits up in nicer. So yeah, it's used and washed, so it faded a bit. But I'm so happy to have found this wool. It's quite a thick, fluffy sock yarn, which I like. I don't like the really thin ones. I just think it looks so much nicer when you knit with it. And I need to cake it up and get going. I'm looking forward to knitting another pair of socks with this. I took 2 strands because they had to order it. So that was the first purchase, well, no, the second after my cash soft. Then, as I said, I'm knitting a hat, a baby hat for a friend whose baby has a bit of health issues and has a specially formed head, and she doesn't find a hat that fits. So I'm knitting a hat, and I ordered a yarn in her preferred color, which I'm not naming now because she might be watching. And I found that color at a Canadian dyer, Arkin Fiber Works, which I was checking out for a long time, and I always admired their yarns and how they looked, and I was like, oh, but it's Canada, you know, it's a long way for shipping and everything. And this time I was like, no, I'm getting that. It's the color I want, and I can fill up with other colors. So I got some yarns. I got the yarn I'm not showing you. I try to make a photo and remember to do that before I pack it up for Christmas. I got some merino sock wool. It's all 80% merino and 20% polyamide. Nylon. and it's superwash and it's 400 meters, and it's also quite a nice thickness. I'm really keen to see how it knits up, and I'm really tempted to make another kind of fingering weight pair of leg warmers. And yeah, I have ordered these colors. I mean, the first time I wanted to check out, I had like wool for 500 francs on it, because no, not the francs, dollars, because I almost every color I liked, I just like, yeah, I take one. And then I was like, no way, I can't do that. And then I started to kind of de-stash in the little basket, and yeah, those were the ones that stayed, plus another one, a DK one that I show you in a second, and 2 strands of the DK I had to order. Nice excuse. Yeah, so I really love those colors. It's almost too good to make socks out of it. So these two, you could also, I chose that deliberately like this, because I was like, I could hold those together to do something in a nice DK. I can hold it separately and have a marled thing and this more solid. This is like of this greenish, goldish, brownish thing. It's a really interesting color. I've never seen something like that. And of course the lovely, what's it called? Forager's Path, lovely green. This is a creamy coffee. This is rusty orange, which I just love, and autumn trails. So long time I have, well, no, it's not, that's not true at all. It's not a long time since I've seen so lovely wool, such lovely wool. I have only lovely wool in my wardrobe, but yeah, I'm really happy with these color choices, and I'm so looking forward to knit this up. It's in my sock yarn box in my wool wardrobe, and I haven't decided yet what to do with it. So these were really single strands pleasure buys, just because I loved the colors, and I might reorder there actually, because they have such lovely wool. I want to knit up first something with it, and we'll go to that. So since a while I have this lovely Forever Taiga yarns merino silk in my stash. Such a nice color. 80% merino, 20% silk, 250 meters on 100 grams, so kind of a sport DK. Love it. Such a nice color. Very close to my skin, well, very close. Yeah, it's kind of close. And I wasn't sure what to do with that, because I have 4 strands, and I wanted to do a care sweater by the Creabea. How can it be otherwise? This is really a Creabea fan podcast, I'm sorry. But I don't have enough of the wool, and it's too thin, because she has, I think, a 20 stitch gauge or a 19 stitch gauge in the care sweater, and I will never get this with my tight knitting. So I need to find another sweater. So I was not sure what to do, and I have some ideas, but I'm not yet entirely sure, but I'd love to combine it. And I ordered some merino silk in just natural white from her, undyed, just 2 strands or 3, so I can do a color work sweater, because I think that would be a very nice light color work, but I'm not sure yet. So I ordered the dark brown by Arkin Fiberworks, because I think these two together would look so nice. This is a DK, and it's just a merino, and this is a merino nylon even, and this is a superwash, and this is a merino silk. So I have to try if these two kind of knit up nicely together, but if I make the pattern like in the dark, and this one is the background kind of, and I might have the white undyed part of that one it could work out, but I'm not too sure what kind of jumper it will be. It will not be the Care sweater because it definitely does not match with the gauge. I'm quite sure with that. So I have to find a sweater which has a gauge for this, and if it's a bit thicker, it doesn't matter. I can kind of knit it tighter and it will be fine. Yeah, so I really love these two together. I think they look so nice. And yeah, if there is a light creamy, like, let me quickly take the Cash Soft. Like, it would be a nice combo. It really would look nice. Like, this is beige, but a bit more like white. It would be lovely. So I'll see what comes out of this. I have four strands of this and 4 strands of this. And I have a Zakami yarn, which is very similar in color. Not quite, but very similar. So this is all the purchases. And it's enough. More than enough for this year. And I'm very happy with all of them. And I'm looking forward. There will be these Forever Taiga yarns, the undyed ones that will come. Next time I go there, it will be in December, I guess. So, and that will be the last thing I purchase before Christmas, before New Year's Eve, and I will not do anything else. And I'll have enough yarn to figure out what to do with it in the next year. So I will have enough projects. If you want to stay here and subscribe and like my channel, I would be really happy if you do that. The light was getting darker now. It's fully dark outside. I hope it's not too bad. Thank you for being here. It was a huge podcast episode. It will be a mess to cut this, but well, I'll try my best, and I hope you enjoyed it. And you can find me on Ravelry, as I said, as Eillets, or on Instagram as knitting_Eillets. So have a nice weekend. I hope I will be here sooner than it was this time. I think it will, and I'm wishing you a very good time.